Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I called you through my phone now.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, in my interview before, I had the same problem, so at least you managed to connect. That's good. No problem. I won't we'll give you 3 minutes back, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I guess before I ask the question, I just want to get a sense of your experience. So, are you like mid-level? Are you first software engineering job? What's your situation?
Um, so I'm a software engineer persona for the last 2.5 years now. So I don't know if that's considered mid-level or um, definitely not a starter. So I've been working as a software engineer for the last 2.5 years.
Oh, great. Okay. Awesome. So I guess in terms of the question, yeah, because I get interviewers with all kind of different, experience levels. So I just wanted to gauge where you're at and how comfortable you are with the programming stuff. So it seems like you have plenty of experience. So I'll kind of gauge the question based on that. So I'll kind of do a warm up question, and then if you can solve it easily, we'll move on from there. So the problem, if you've seen this problem before, just let me know, and I can get another one. So
Okay.
the problem I want to share today is gonna be called. Well, actually, I won't tell what it's called, but let me do. Yeah, let's try this one. So, okay. Let me post the problem statement into the chat, and let me give you some sample input and output. Okay, so basically, uh, you're gonna be given, basically a 32-bit signed integer, which means that the leftmost bit can be one, and so you can represent essentially both positive and negative numbers. And the goal of this is just to reverse the digits. And
Okay.
here's another example involving negative numbers. Yep. And you can assume this constraint as well. Okay. So you could assume that the number will not exceed that size.
Okay. Cool. Um, oh, it's 2 power 31. Oh, okay. Okay. Um, so if it's a negative number, if it's a positive number, I'm gonna traverse the number from back and oh sorry, divide the number by 10. I get the divisor and the remainder. So I keep building up the next number. So if there's 1, 2, 3, so I'm gonna divide this number by 10 because it's uh, log 10. So I get 12 and I get 3 as a reminder. 3 is going to be my so I'm going to start my number with 3 and my next number is going to be 12. So now I divide 12 by 10. I get 2, so I make my next result as 3 into 10 plus 2. So I get 32 and my next number is
Yeah.
1. The remainder is going to be 1, so I'm going to add that. But if it's a negative number, um, if it's a negative number, I'm going to treat it as a positive number and just append minus at the end.
Okay. Yep. Yep. That sounds right. Mhm.
Okay. Let me continue. If n is less than 0, you can actually use a boolean.
Yep. Instead of doing that, one thing you could do is just make the multiplier positive or -1, depending on that, right? And then you just multiply that number by the result at the end. You could do that too.
Yeah,
That way you, yeah, that way like you don't need the extra variable.
okay. Another minute doesn't look so good. Oops.
Yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off. What I was thinking was, yeah, something like this, right? And sign is 1, and then if it's 0, you just set sign to -1, right? Something like that. And then at the end, you multiply sign by the result,
Yeah.
right? You do that, like
Yeah, okay.
something.
But I cannot start with a negative number, right? So I thought I can take a math.abs of
Yep.
and
Yeah.
but I have to instead of doing that math.abs of and everywhere, I can just convert it to a math.abs and then continue from there.
Yep. 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 Yeah, you just do the conversion once. Yep.
Um, and then I'm actually one second. So I have so let's say I have 1, 3, 3, and then my remainder is going to be 3. My number is going to be 12, and then my result is going to be say we have 1 excuse me, and then my 3 divided by 10, so I have a remainder of 3. My next number is 3.
So in the first step, yep, that looks right. Yep. In the first step, you get 3, right? Your sum is 0.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
So where is my while closing? I think this one. Okay. This is for my. Okay, I didn't close my while.
Yep. That looks good.
Did I try something?
Okay. Yeah, that looks great. So one question here. I'm not too familiar with Java. Is this integer division or will it be a float?
Oh, it's going to be integer. If
Okay.
you divide 123 with 10, you get 12.
Okay, great. Okay. Okay, and then the remainder is 3, right? Sum is 0, so first time it will be 3, then the next iteration, your remainder becomes 2, you get 30. Okay, so it becomes 32, okay, then your remainder is 1 on the last try, and then it becomes 320. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, that's a good solution. I don't really.
Should be greater than or equals to, no, that's all, greater than 0.
No, it shouldn't. Yeah, just greater. Yeah, you don't want to go
Yeah,
when it's equal to 0. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, should I test it?
Uh, yeah, sure, sure. Great.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that looks great. Can we try with the negative number too? Let's
Oh, yeah.
try minus 1, 2, 3. Cool. That looks great.
Cool.
Okay, nice work. Yeah, so finish that problem pretty quick. We can do another problem if you like, or we can end the interview here. It's up to you.
Maybe we can try another one.
Okay, great. This one is a little bit harder. Okay. I'm not expecting a complete solution, but if you can get to it, that would be great. It doesn't have to be optimal, but so let's get rid of this now, and let me post the new problem statement in here. So, uh, oh, you didn't want to do that. Okay, so if you've seen this problem before, let me know. I can get another one for you. Why isn't it pasting that? Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, so the problem is given an array of n integers, are there elements, so basically namely 3 elements in that array such that they add up to 0. And what you need to find is all unique triplets in that array, which gives that sum. Okay, so here's a sample input and a sample output. And just let me know if you have any questions about that.
Okay. I'm typing in the example. I don't see anything here. Oh,
Cool.
okay, okay. It's
Yeah,
already
it's
there.
right here. Yeah.
Okay, I was just up there. I didn't scroll down. Okay, cool. Given an odd number. Also, you want all of the triplets. Okay, that's hard. Mm. Um, so I'm going to traverse to the array, then maintain the sum of elements. So I have a -1, and then I have a 0.
So basically, just to give you a hint here, there's a few ways you can start this problem, right? You could have 3 for loops, right? So one way
Yeah.
to think about this is have you ever done a problem where you have an array which has, like, let's say, I don't know, like this, and then you get a target, right? And then the target is equal to 5, right? And let's say I
Mm-hmm.
ask you, can you give me all unique pairs of numbers which add up to the target, right? So like in a problem like that, right? It's kind of like this, except for each number you fix that becomes your target, and then the remaining elements in the array you're checking to see if they add up to that number, right? And basically like yeah, so like in this case, your target is actually not this. It would be zero minus this, and then you want to check to see if the rest of the elements in the array add up to that. So yeah,
Yes.
so
Get
that's
your
kind
point.
of the idea here, right? So
Yeah. So
based
let's
on,
say we have,
yeah. Go
yeah, I
ahead,
think I
sorry.
got the idea. Um,
Hmm.
say so we have -1. So our target is going to be, so since our target is 0 here, if we have a -1 already, we're looking for a +1 in the rest of the array, like sum of two numbers where you have a target of 1, right?
Right.
So it's
Exactly.
going to be the same problem again. So I'm gonna send this part of the array. So okay, I'm gonna send this index and not use. I'm gonna send the entire array and then not use this index, because here it's easy because it's the first one. You can just send the rest of the array. But later, when you come here, there's another -1, and then you have to still use. Okay. Like
Yeah.
the
You need
sub
to.
problem. Yeah, the sub problem is have a target and then send an array. It's basically uh, find two elements where the target is going to be this. So let's solve that
Right.
first, and then let's think about the other part.
Right.
That's what
Right.
I'm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Maybe let's just use list. That is easy. Do you want the return type to be integer array, or I think it's going to be very
Mm-hmm.
for
The return type
list
should
of
be an
list?
array of arrays. That's right.
Okay. Is list of list okay too?
List of list
Or
is fine. Sure.
okay. Um, so this is the main method. I'm just writing the sub problem here. That's
Okay.
going to be another private method. Let's just do it up. That is going to be a list of this needs an index because we shouldn't include that number again. Um,
Okay. And do you want to pass the target to that function as well, or you're not going to pass the target?
yeah, I need the target. I just thought it's 0. Okay. So I have a
Okay.
list of numbers. So how do I do this is basically use a hash map. Um, so let's say we have, well, let's just consider this first one. So I'm going to pass this index and not use that. So now I have this part of the array. I'm going to put 0 in the hash map with an index 1. And then I'm going to look
Okay.
for the, or I'm going to have index in the key, and value can be my target minus this value, which is basically 1 minus 0, 1. And okay, no, the key has to be the value. Okay, the key is going to be target minus this. It's going to be 1, and the value is going to be 1 because the index is 1. And then when I'm looking, when I'm um, Okay, one second, I just got confused. When I'm looking for 1 again, I know that it already exists in the map, which means that this pair is going to form a sum. So I'm going to return 0 and 1. So let's, oh my God. Phi is not equal to index if map dot contains key of, oh, so you want to return the numbers, right, and not the indices here? Okay, that's cool. If map dot contains dot numbers I, which means that my sorry. Okay,
Okay, hang on, just a second. Sorry, what is this result? Where's okay. That's the array list. Okay. Sorry.
yeah.
Okay, so you're saying if the so you're saying if the element is in the hash map, then add to this array list. You're creating a new array list. You're adding that number, and then you're also adding the target minus that number. Okay. Uh, okay. Why do you need to create this? Okay, I see. This is gonna be your answer that you're returning, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's going to be
Okay.
my result. So if you have this array, and then so I have -1 here, so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use these elements here, and I put
Okay.
so I didn't finish my map dot put yet, so I'm going to do that. Map dot
Okay.
get. This is going to be so I'm assuming all of these are unique numbers. Basically they're not, right?
Uh, they're unique. Yeah, in the map they should be, right, but you could have duplicates in the array, right? So you want to make sure that so so I don't know if you've considered that or not, but you can definitely have duplicates in the array.
Okay. So map dot put target minus so I. Else is closed here, the other rect is closed here, for is closed here. Okay. So now I have to call this find pairs for each number in the outer array.
Okay. Um, okay. So one question here, right? So you only want to add two numbers because your goal is to get three, right? So um so can you walk me through how in this loop you can ensure that you're only ever adding two numbers to that result at a time? Because like this result array, right? If I understand your code properly, it should not have a size greater than three, right? Should be exactly three.
This is going to be 2 here.
Okay.
The size is going to be just 2. I'm gonna break after
Okay.
adding this. Yeah. The
Okay.
size of
Okay.
result is going, once you find a pair, um,
Okay. Okay. I see. Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay. So it should be two, right? Yeah, that's the thing because you
yes,
didn't break, right?
yeah,
So you're gonna keep adding. That's the issue. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. That looks right.
okay,
Yep.
okay. So
Okay.
I have basically I have 0 and 1 here, and have to find for which number I'm doing this. Um, okay. So -1. So I have to call this method find pairs with if the result set is not empty, or if it is not empty, which means that I found something that matches the sum. So I'm gonna create a new list and then add okay.
So one question here, what happens when the target is duplicate? So what happens when you call this function with the same target? Because remember, you don't want duplicate pairs, right? So how would you handle that? You can still keep your design, right? It won't break your design, but
Mm-hmm.
you'd need to do something here, right, to handle that. You want to keep track of the target, right, that you called before, right? Because if you think about it, if you pass the same target to this function, right,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get that same combination, right, of those same two numbers. You might have a duplicate there. So
So, like,
yeah,
what do you
I
mean?
would.
So,
So for example, right, let's say that you're uh here. Let me give an example. So make you have your nums. Um, so you're computing your target by subtracting zero, right, from each number, right?
yes.
So let's imagine you had something like this, okay? Oof, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, something happened. They kicked me out of the interview. Okay. So yeah, let's say you had an array like this. I don't know if you can see it and scroll down here. Let me come and post it right above your code so it's clear. So you had an array like this, right? So this -1 is duplicated, which means your target is going to be the same, right? The second time you call it.
Yeah, I got
So
your
what
point.
happens in that case? What do you do in that case?
Um, what I can do is I can maintain a set of targets. Um, I can maintain a set of targets. If it's already in the targets, I can just do. Oh, that's not. If if for my -1 here, um, 1 is the target. Okay, that's possible. Let me think about it. So if my target is same, I can use a hash map from my target to this list to see if I have the target in the key. If it contains key, then I'm just gonna return from the map instead of doing it again.
So you're basically just saying you want to keep track of the solution you had from the previous target, and if you already computed it, you don't need to do it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you just keep track of the target itself? Like, why do you need to have? So if you see the same target again, you can just skip it. You don't need to try again, right?
Um, that's true. I don't have to return same. Okay. Yeah, I don't have to do it again. So if um 0 minus num. Oh, but for that also I have to keep track of the targets, right? Because how do I know if it's already
Yep.
um
Yeah, exactly. You would need to keep track of the targets, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but you don't need to like have the extra space to like map it. You could just put the target in a set or something, right? And
yeah.
then that way, yeah, you don't need to have a hash map.
Okay, I should have taken the indexed value. Oh, I should have done it just once. Okay. Which means that we found um
Okay. Yep. Great. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good.
okay.
So Yeah, that's one solution. Sure, that could work. There are some
Uh,
other ones. So what's the time complexity for your approach? What do you think it is?
it's going to be of n square. For each number, we're doing pairs again. So there's a for loop, and then there's a for loop inside that one.
Yep,
Yeah, it's of
that's
n
good.
square.
What
Mm.
about the space? How much space are you using for this?
Let me look at it. So I have a hash map of all the numbers, worst case, at least like, so it's going to be O of n for um, this one. And then I have a set of targets here, which is going to be O of n. So, so this is going to be O of n. Um, and what else? There's a temporary list that I've been using. Um, but this is used to get the result. Okay, so oh, this is O of n square. The result itself,
Mm-hmm.
because we have a list of integers, and this is just constant. A list of three. Um, so if I consider that as a constant, then it's going to be O of n,
Okay. Yep.
because this list of integers is always going to be three and not more than that or less than that. So
Okay, so you're saying that for each element potentially you could have uh okay, so you're saying you're gonna have a list of lists. Each of those lists is a constant size, so your size is on space. Well,
yeah,
it's in
three.
terms of yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's probably still linear space. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. That sounds right. Okay. I think this solution is good. There could be a way you could do it actually without using any space. I would challenge you to think about how you might accomplish that. We don't have to go into it this time, but there is a solution to this problem that you can find that involves basically using pointers, and you can basically eliminate the extra space needed by cleverly figuring out you need one more heuristic, so you need the list to be sorted. But after doing that, you can avoid the extra space. But we don't have to like there's we don't have to talk about that. But just so you know, like if you do see this problem come up again, and you are able to do it, I think this solution would pass. But just to know if your interviewer in the future he challenges you and gives you a space constraint, just to know that there's a way to deal without the extra space. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Overall, I think you did great. You did really well. Do you have any like questions for me or anything?
So are you, I know this is peer-to-peer interview, so are you also in getting interviewed from people on this platform, or are you just a professional interviewer that's doing using interviewing.io?
No, actually, I do use interviewing.io. I get interviewed by other people on this platform too, and for me as well, I'm kind of working up to doing the anonymous interviews with those companies that they have listed there. So it's cool actually. Anyone can sign up to do the interview, but I think you need to have at least some number of successful interviews before you can start interviewing other people. But yeah, if you're interested in doing it both ways, I think it's a great experience. Like I think it's good to be on the other side once in a while too, not just only getting interviewed, but also interview other people and see like, how to have a communication with them and understand like their thought process too. So,
Okay, makes sense. Thank you. That's all. I don't have any other questions.
all right, cool. Well, thanks very much, and I'll leave you feedback, and please, if you'd like to leave feedback, don't hesitate.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.